The Tennessee Department of Education smacked down a request from the right-wing group Moms for Liberty recently, where they were trying to get certain books banned because they said it made white students feel bad about being white because the books were anti-white. They were anti-American because they were anti-white. And yes, of course, one of the books was by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. himself. But the Moms for Liberty, led by a woman named Robin Steinman, said that the lack of historical context and difference in perspective and the manipulative pedagogy all work together to amplify and sow feelings of resentment, shame of one's skin color, and or fear. And the classroom books and teacher manuals reveal both explicit and implicit anti-American and anti-white teaching. No? Maybe you ought to read a book. I mean, have y'all thought about that, Moms for Liberty? Instead of going out there and acting outraged about things you should have learned in school, maybe you ought to pick up one of those books and read it for yourself. If you're feeling any white guilt over this, that's on you. Oh, and by the way, critical race theory actually doesn't teach white guilt. It actually helps people understand why you really shouldn't have your white guilt today. By understanding what happened in the past, we can move past the guilty parts, but that's a conversation y'all don't want to have either because it gets in the way of the narrative you're trying to push. And remarkably, folks, what I just read to you was not the craziest thing that these people said in their complaint to the Tennessee Department of Education. They also claimed that slavery and Jim Crow were, quote, positive achievements like unity and the overall improvement of our country. Slavery and Jim Crow, so segregation, those were totally positive. Oh, those were so great for America. These people, I mean, it's hard to describe them as anything other than, racially biased here. If you look at the Jim Crow era here in the United States, if you look at segregation and you say, I like what they're doing there, that kind of tells us a lot about how you feel about the races, doesn't it? Segregation was not good for America. Slavery was not good for America. We used free labor to build our economy, to build our country, killed people, treated them worse than animals, then fought a civil war over whether or not these people should have any rights. Those were not positive developments here in the United States, but it is a part of the United States history that people need to understand, and you cannot erase it just because you don't like it. It happened, get over it. The more you focus on this, the dumber you look, the more racist you look. I'm not even saying that any of you are racist, but the more you harp on this, it sure as hell looks like you are. So maybe you need to work on that. Maybe you need to pick up some of these books and educate yourselves. The kids are going to be fine. We have been learning these things in school for decades. Well, that is everybody, clearly, except for the Moms for Liberty groups. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.